Back out here working on these electrical problems on the Mahindra, and we figured it out, or I figured it out. So after doing some testing, some yanking on wires and stuff, so what I found was that this guy, we'll look down here, my sunglasses somewhere, this guy right here is bad. And this wire's crimped really bad right here. I don't know what happened, if it got bent in there, the way it was sitting in there. They had this all tied real tight together with tape and crap. So, and I noticed this fuse that was in this slot was a little bit burned up. It's still good, but you can tell it got hot in there. So I think this whole connector may be melted inside there. So what the plan is do like I did for my Beller, right? So I got a 20 amp inline fuse here. I found a 60 amp inline. Of course, it's not this housing type. It's going to be a plastic type. But 60 amp, I can bolt from. I can make a little jumper cable over to here to it, and then from here to right in here somewhere. Get this good part of this cable, put a crimp on it, and so what that do is it will put me to the battery, which is what this is doing right here. Right, this is a battery cable right here. If you can see that, that's a battery cable right there going over to the battery, and then a 60 amp fuse going into here, which goes all the way back up to the blower, to the fuse box that controls the blower, the radio, and all that stuff, right? So basically I'm going to just bypass this because I can't get it open. I've been trying to pull this out. I think it's melted in there is what's happened. This side is still working. This is going to the ignition, and it's still working. That's what's driving everything that's up in the dash part, you know, all that stuff, all the lights up there, and actually working the ignition. So what I'll do is I'll plug it in here. I'll make some jumper cables over from here to the fuse, and it's got bolts, bolt holes on each side, and it's a 60 amp. And then from that side, I will attach it into here by using another crimp on. So that's the plan. That should fix this because I could actually wiggle this out a little bit, and that the blower motor would come on and everything. So this is definitely the culprit. This is what's causing a problem. I knew if we just step back and look at it and you know did the black box version of troubleshooting, which is where you just narrow it down, right? And so I knew we weren't getting power up there, or consistent power, I should say. And so I knew we had either a short or a crimp or something going wrong. And voila, that's what we had. So basically, we went to the source by looking at the diagrams in the Mahindra book for this, and the diagram says it comes directly from the battery up to the fuse box. It's part of the HVAC connection, and so that makes sense. So there was nothing else in between. It was not going to the dash. What it does, there's a connector there where it connects in and then goes up, right? Splice connector. But it was not something that was having to go all the way underneath there to the other side of the fuse box or to the computer module or whatever. So it made it a lot simpler troubleshooting this, but we'll get this wired in. This right here is from my bell monitor. I think what I'm gonna probably end up doing, I was thinking about trying to mount this, but then it would be kind of tight getting this battery in and out. Well, I'm probably just going to wrap this also. When I get done with this, I'm going to wrap it in a lot of electrical tape. Probably do the same thing with this one. This one's built more for weather, so I'm not too worried about it. But it goes up. I got it going up over here and then up through the floor, and that goes up to the bell monitor cable, and this is the ground cable for it. So we'll get that done. We had a shower just come through. It looks like it might be done. So I'm gonna grab me a chair or a stool, come over here and start working on this, it looks like. And we'll get this knocked out, then we'll show you what the result is when we get it done. Appreciate it. Talk to y'all in a few minutes. So we did get say I mentioned a while ago, we got a little bit of rain. It's starting to dry up off of the concrete over there. So sun's back out now, and now it's getting very hot and humid. But what we did here to the Mahindra is what I said. I was going to put an inline fuse in, which is what I got here, 60 amp. So I'm bypassing this. It's going to this. So let's see if it works. So we'll just put power on. Oh, Gotta get the other fuse in for the other deal, otherwise the ignition won't work at all. So all we gotta do here, we're gonna have this one in, otherwise the ignition won't work. Now it should work. Yeah, blower fan's working. Yay.
We're gonna have AC again. Yes, and radio.
Alright, so now I gotta get in here, tape all this up so we don't get no shorts. I'm gonna tape this guy up too. It's a little bit better for weather. I want to look for a different one online of these that's more like this kind. And eventually I think I'm gonna make some new cables and mount these and spool up some cable here, so that way I have them mounted to here like they should be, bolted down, and try to find one like this for the 60 amp also. And if I keep having problems with this, I'll probably replace it too then, same way. But anyway, so good to go. Tape it, tape it, tape it. Should have used a little bit smaller bolts here. I'll get some of those later. But I got those crimped. We used 8 gauge wire on here. The Mahindra on this side I think was using 10 gauge, which is not strong enough. That's 30 amp wire. 8 gauge gets me closer to the 60 amp, probably more like 50 amp, but that could be what problem. It got a little bit hot in there running air conditioner consistently, probably using a seat with the radio and the moisture meter all at the same time. Probably sent way too much through there and caused this problem, because this needs to be thicker wire, and this needs to be thicker wire. So eventually, maybe this coming winter, I might take all this apart and run an 8 gauge wire from here all the way up to fix that problem. So that's where we are. I'm gonna get this taped up, put it back together. At least this part. I'll get this part later this evening when it's not as hot, because it's getting very humid out here right now, very warm. So just want to give you an update. Well, appreciate y'all watching our videos. Really do. And the only thing I have to say is thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the videos. You know what to do, right? It's YouTube. We're pretty accustomed to that nowadays. So God bless. Catch you on the next video. Thank you.